Magnets! 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 G'day YouTube. I'm recording quite a few videos today. You'll know I'll try and do different colours shirts for different days just so you can know what days I've gone ape on. Because I'm uploading a video now and yeah, it takes a long time to upload a video, so some maybe uploaded the day after. I don't know, I like continuity and knowing what people are at. I also like knowing where people are from. Like, so I'm based in Melbourne, Australia. We've got a crew of guys in the northern suburbs that play quite a number of games from War Machine all through the Games Workshop range down to things like Saga and other sorts of lots of other sorts of games. I'm very limited. I'm new to the expanded hobby. I've only been a G-dub boy, fanboy as some people would call me. But I'm broadening my horizons. I'm looking forward to playing a new steampunk style in Her Majesty's name, which Knights of Dice are actually getting some studio things made up. Teams, factions, whatever they called, painted up, and so there'll be some stuff on Knights of Dice about that. So anyway, everything comes back to the Knights of Dice. I can't wait. So what today's video is going to be about, or this particular video is going to be about, excuse me, is magnets. Me and my household, my household and I live with two other gamers, we all love magnets. I've gone a bit ape since I got my Skaven, so I've got a few examples here of where I've used magnets, and I'll give you the reasons why I've used them. Some of them are a bit silly. I've magneted a ton of just clan rats so I can do hand weapons or shields, which I'll show you in a bit, but I didn't need to. I really didn't. I've got a drill and magnets. They're just on my lamp here. I didn't pull off enough, and that wasn't impressive enough. Yeah, there you go. Different sizes, different strengths. So that one's strong enough to make my lamp wobble. Anyway, so yeah, all right. So on to my magnets. So I'm gonna. Right, so here is some uses for some places where I've used magnets. So I think the video I'm uploading now, I showed the Vermin Lord with this massive, alright, put it on the thing, so can't even get it all in frame. Well, it's just, well, I can. I'm just zoomed. Alright, so I got a big hand, so it'll be bigger than a child's hand in length. It's massive. It's ungainly. It's awesome, but I was really worried it would break off a model on an extended arm like that. So fix the arm properly and put a nice big, big magnet in the end, which has given it a good strength, and it means that I can now take that off if I'm going to pack that away and pack that model away separate and not worry about that arm getting broken. So that's one use for that's one major use for safety of models for magnets is the safety of your models. Another thing would be, so here's my wolf rat unit. I've probably won't be using this. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with my bases. This is one idea I had, but I'm not talking about bases today, apart from the fact that I have these magneted on. Which another scavenging find, which I will recommend to everyone, is this here. What I've actually used on this. This was only one row of cavalry models, so I didn't have to fill it completely. I was able to leave gaps, and these are on other bases. I've actually filled these gaps with milliput, so I've got a nice smooth base on. But this one here, I wasn't that worried about at the moment. I haven't used these in a game yet. People are a bit scared of them. They say they're a bit broken, but let me know what you think about wolf rats, if you think if they're broken or not. But I think they're lovely miniatures. And what I've done here is I've literally just wedged a I think it's a 3mm by 2mm magnet. So I don't know your 1/4 inches and 1/8 of an inch and all that, 1/16. I'm not going to even try, but millimeters is fairly simple. So that's about 3mm wide and 2mm deep. Pretty sure. Yep, that's the size it is. So that holds them on there really well. These are resin miniatures, so they're not too heavy, but yeah, no issues there. I've seen that so many times on videos in YouTube and always wanted to be able to do it. Now I can. Another reason I love magnets. Alright, so I'll put them aside. They are lovely, but a bit unneeded. Right. The other idea is to give versatility, which is really covers it all. So there's basing, there's separating models, good for dreadnoughts, things like that can be just popped in separately and not having to worry about big chunky models. It doesn't work with all big models, just some models can be designed, the way that some models are designed can be used more. Sorry about my hand coming, actually like these better. Hey! So, what leads me on to my next, versatility. I may be a G-Dub fanboy, but here in Australia we are not really loved by Games Workshop. No love. Yeah, I don't know if the guys in America think they're into an expensive hobby. You wouldn't like to do it in Australia. It's at least a third more expensive for every single model, if not more. But other than that, it's Games Workshop. I've been doing this since '95. I love this stuff. So this stop ranting. This is the versatility section. So obviously I've got a Wartime warband, which a couple of the models don't have much versatility because they're, you know, characterful models as to begin with. So that's my Assassin Adept. I'm almost thinking that's the old Deathmaster Snitch model. I'm pretty sure it is. I think I've actually got the Citadel Miniatures catalogue with this one in it, so I should go and have a look. But I'm pretty sure that's the old Deathmaster Snitch before it went extra evil. And, you know, ye old, yeah, we don't even need to go into that. We all know which one that is. Warlock Engineer, but yeah, so he's my... Is it a Warlock Engineer in the Escher list? I would have to look to be able to tell you. So, my Black Skaven, my Night Runners, and after my first game I now have 5 I wish there were wolf rats, no. 5 verminkin, that's what they are. So, versatility. So this will show you both the versatility I've already talked about, where I've got clan rats, with magneted arms, which allows me to turn them into slings, or where did I put that? Spears. So it gives me a good amount of versatility. So I can change these around. You know, it's no real. Don't need to model on slings, but if that's all I've got, you're going to have them. But later on, slings are carried around. They're belts or slings. You know, slings were carried everywhere. So yeah, so that's the general the idea there. But where I've gone with my Mordheim, with my the gutter runners, or night runners I should call them, because that's probably what they actually are. So I've done the same thing with them, which will allow me for let's see, I magneted an entire sprue of these guys. So already in my first game with my Black Skaven as is, he ended up, there is a spot where it sits well. Anyway, he ended up losing his flail, and now only has a knife. Alright, so it gives me that versatility. Whereas when I was back when I was playing Necromunda in the late 90s, maybe it would have been late 90s. Things always changed, and you had to. I was in a group of fanatics, and you had to actually change your models when things changed. Some of those models I ended up throwing out because so many bits were cut off them. So it gives you that versatility where you can change things up, and that worked all the way through my warband. What I've done so far, I could also have done the heads, but seeing as the amount of magnets I already have in my workshop attached to parts, I didn't actually want to put some heads in. It's a bit too bright from the white, so you just use the guy that's. So I could have done the heads, so I could change them up to be helmets if they get helmets and whatnot. But I might do that with other miniatures and just swapping them around. So that's a good use of them is versatility. I got those ideas from other people. I thought they're really good. Here's another model most of us would know who play Warhammer anyway. This is the Skaven Warp Fire Thrower. I like it. I think it's a good model. I've converted one of these up already by cutting off the end here and attaching a burst cannon, Tau burst cannon, the rotary Gatling gun styled weapon for the power suits. I'm not going to try and say the showers or whatever names they have. So this here, I should have grabbed it, brought it in. I've got a heap of miniatures to show you, so I don't have to walk away. But that's not happening. So this one here, what I've done here is I've taken this off and magneted it. I've got another burst cannon I'm going to use. The other one I converted, the other rattling gun. That's what I used for. I converted. It's solid. I've glued it all in place. This one I thought I'm going to try and get some versatility because these things are amazing on the battlefield. But there's certain things I want to be able to run and not have to worry about. So the first thing here is I've got another burst cannon I'll be preparing for here, which I didn't do at the time. I should have, but I didn't, because my main priority was making a warp grinder. No. The tunneling tool, I can't quite remember the name. And this is a piece of the Abomination. I think it went further on out, and it was attached to a piece of the body, and it was like a ray gun or something sticking out of the body. Not quite sure what it was, but I've repurposed that to be a. I really want to look up the name, but anyway. So that's to be able to give versatility. That's another reason. That's the main reason I like magnets. Do you know what I mean? It just works. All right, so that's that one. Another one I did was I'm versatility and also cheapness. Cheapness is good. These rats I ended up buying quite a bit. I probably spent about, including the Forge World stuff, probably spent about 700 Australian dollars. I think. A lot. I spent a lot. So, but yeah, I ended up getting a ton. I think it was probably close to about 80 rats in total. Some of them were proper rats I think that's one example of the proper rat from the Packmasters and Rats, the plastic box set where you get the rat ogres. Which I did grab one of those. I ended up getting 2 of those. And a lot of Plague Monks. And the Plague Monks had more rats than actually the Rat Packmasters. So I've actually done it so I've magneted, just made these little bases. They're just hardboard, done 40mm. And it means that I've got not only, I should have brought some of the bases in with the magnets in it. So not only have I got giant rats to use. I've got rat swarms. I can even add these to add spots on scenic bases if I really feel the need, and be able to slot these in. I actually had, come to think of it, I wonder if these were the right ones, because I think I ended up swapping them around. Yeah, no, I ended up swapping them around, so they're not quite, those ones are reversed to what they should do, but there was spots so a rat could stand on either side of this base, which I'll probably end up doing more of. They were hidden away in the stonework, so I'm hoping I can do that again. But yeah, so that's versatility, to taking it to the nth, and getting value for money. That's another major reason for doing this. I've now got, I think I've probably got about 80 rats to use, and I've run 2 massive hordes of them, and they work quite well. They're more useful than slaves half the time. So yeah, so that's another use, and then what I've got here is just one of my units. I think one of these has fallen off its magnet, which are all green stuff to the bottom here. So I'm pretty sure someone's fallen off. Alright. 2 just didn't have good connections, they still had their magnets. Anyway, so that's, you might be able to see in here. Oh, I didn't tell you about the stripping, I went into talking about my bases. So yeah, that's that filled. It's filled, it's really quite smooth. Yeah, so that metal stripping is actually from a hardware store. No, well, it's a wood shop, somewhere that sells wood to tradesmen, workmen, you'd probably call it in the wider word. They have a trade here in Australia, so they're called tradesmen. And it's offcuts. They actually come in, they're binding for wood, and I just happened to be walking past and went, that would be really handy. Picked it up, and the guys that I went there were quite interested to know why I used it, why I wanted it, and yeah, they kept a heap aside. I went back in a couple of days and had more than I need for probably a couple of months, if I don't go silly with it. But as you saw, I turned that over there before, and it was these plastic ones that fell off. I've actually got Lord Scroll here, which is one of the old, massive, old miniatures. Very heavy, so I've put in 2 massive, well, 1 massive magnet and 1 smaller magnet. And that's just to stop it from falling out, because once he's painted, I'd hate to paint him again because I dropped him. And the same is, there's enough magnets on this base and the bottom to hold it down. Even though I'm changing bases. But yeah, so the interesting thing here, I've gone over the top a bit here. All these arms are attached, but what I've done with these pole arms, I'm sure you can see that, I've actually put them on so I could change them up. I could do little units with a banner in them, or little units with, I don't know why I would, but I can. So they've all got magnets in. Magnets are all in the same way. But yeah, so that's because I like it. So there's a few different things I can do with that. I can have, yeah, so that's, I liked it. What that takes me on to is, I'll go to the back of the unit now, is I've got these, so that's the book. So I've got a bookman at the front here. So he's your champion, the bringer of the word when it comes to the Plague Monks. But every sprue, like what I said in the video that's uploading at the moment, or could even be uploaded, I've been ranting a bit, is, you'll see some of my work with, lost my point completely. Anyway, so yeah, so back to here. So this is the book. What I've done, I've taken off the hand, and I've attached a magnet. I've touched the magnet on an angle so it will sit and look back at me. So that as you're looking at it from my perspective on the board, same as this one here, which is a bit turned, but if it was turned that way towards you, you'd be able to read those. If, say, this one said frenzy in nice bold letters across it, S+1 or A+1. So the general idea there is to use these extra bits Yes, they could have gone into my bit box. Yes, they could have been used in the future, but I'm liking the idea. There's so many things to remember in these games of having little reminders. And if it's very important, I've double magneted one of the posts from the Plague Monks. So once that was painted, that would stand out quite a bit. I think it would stand out really quite well. So yeah, that's. I think that's I've covered about everything. So yeah, I'm going to use these as tokens for spells, for all different kinds of things. So I could actually have them on the units themselves, you know, on the unit themselves, or on my. If I continue using these big bases, which I'll just. The idea is that's half an inch, and two of them together is an inch, and my units are never within an inch of each other. The 1 inch rule is something that people forget when it comes to Warhammer, and yeah, and also because of my 1 inch, I can also see clearer if my opponent's units are coming within that inch. Sometimes it doesn't matter, sometimes it makes the difference, and yeah, I like playing by the rules. Unless I can cheat. More. No, just joking. Alright guys, well I think, one more, sorry I forgot one thing about versatility, which if you've checked out Long Island Wargaming, Nick's on the workbench, or on the bench, what are those things called? Someone's saying it right now. Playlist. He has magneted a warp lightning cannon, so it can become both. I don't think I can grab the Plague Claw at the moment. I haven't actually finished painting it because I've used this more than anything. But I've magneted this. Obviously I haven't based it. I've used it heaps, but I haven't based it. I haven't done the guys yet. See, my half-finished projects are all over the place. But what I'll do is I'll probably magnet the guys so that they can't get in the way when they're standing there. I've already dropped one of these boards lower than it really needs to be, but I don't mind. So we'll do that. But what I've done here is I've put 2 magnets in the legs. Well, I've used 4 magnets, but 2 magnets each side in the legs. I'm hoping you can see that, guys. So that when I slot, if I just pop it in here, so there's a peg and a peg on this, on the end of that. See, and then there's a peg there. Oh yeah, I'll just give you a little overview. That's pretty. It's pretty. That's my blue for the warpstone. So the design is so you slot it in as if you were to assemble it, but these will have 2 spikes, and this would normally have it's got a hole for the spikes, and you glue it on. I've flattened the spikes. I've drilled in the hole, made it big enough to put magnets in, and then sunk magnets in where the spikes should be here. What Nick did from Long Island, he's actually magneted this on and had these detachable, so you can change it around and actually get it in the proper configuration here. I've just gone the easy way and done it so simply that you just flip it round. It's not quite physics proper, but the tutorial I'd seen to do this actually left the gun on, and you just took off the end piece and you still had the tube, and I just changed it up to suit myself because I think that looks more impressive. So yeah, so that's absolutely I've done now. I've covered everything on my workbench. Magnet versatility-ness. So I'm just going to cut back up to me. Right, YouTube, I've done my versatility of magnets. I really suggest getting some magnets. Having a play. I could put a conversion chart down the bottom here for mils to 16ths and 1/16 and whatnot. Because yeah, it's annoys me. It irks me when I watch an American where they use the 3/16 or whatever, and I then have to jump on Google and look at it. So I will try and endeavour to put it down the bottom. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. If you like this, share, comment, subscribe, and thank you, and good gaming.